So permutations and combinations. So understanding of this topic might help you to make cases in the examination. And in CAT, we have hardly seen one question coming up from this topic, right? So in terms of number of questions, this does not hold a lot of importance, but in terms of understanding and using your logical ideas and all, this definitely holds importance. Okay, so this will definitely help you to use ideas in logical reasoning and making cases in all those areas. Yep, so let's solve this question first. Counting rules. Can we just take 30 seconds to solve this? Yeah, let's look at this question, guys. A very simple question. So you at an Inox, you have 3 Hindi movies and 2 Telugu movies going on at a particular time. So in how many ways can you watch one movie? So it's very simple. So either I watch a Hindi movie 1, or I can watch a Hindi movie 2, or I can watch a Hindi movie 3, or I can watch a Telugu movie 1, or I can watch a Telugu movie 2. Right? So what is the whole idea? So I'm going with a Hindi movie or Hindi movie 2, or a Hindi movie 3, or a Hindi movie 4, or a Telugu movie 1, or a Telugu movie 2. So in a way, I have 5 different options to choose from, and therefore my answer becomes 5 ways. Clear? Yeah, can we solve this? So this question says that in Inox there are 3 Hindi and 2 Telugu movies are being played. In how many ways can a person watch a Hindi movie and a Telugu movie? So there are 2 activities going on, which means it's a continuous activity. So a person has to watch a Hindi movie and a Telugu movie. So the way to go ahead with this is, suppose he is watching a Hindi movie 1, then he can further watch a Telugu movie 1 or a Telugu movie 2. Similarly, if he is watching a Hindi movie 2, he can either further watch a Telugu movie 1 or a Telugu movie 2. And if he is watching a Hindi movie 3, he can further watch a Telugu movie 1 or a Telugu movie 2. So these can be the possible combinations of a Hindi movie and a Telugu movie that a person can watch. Right. So if you go individually, this becomes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So if you can also add all of them, so therefore I can say the total ways is going to be 6 ways. Now remember one thing, there is always a concept that people think something called an OR rule or something called an AND rule. Okay, so no matter, here the question had the word called AND, but not always will the question give you the word AND. So what I generally follow is, if I start making one case and I start making a tree diagram like this, or it's a continuous activity, having watched a Hindi movie, I have to further watch a Telugu movie. So these are a few logics or the ideas that you should generate when you read a question, rather than searching for or and in the question. Clear? So if it's a continuation, so having watched a Hindi movie, I have to further watch a Telugu movie. Right? So what do I do? So if I have to further watch a Telugu movie, so a Hindi movie can be watched in how many ways? 3 ways. And a Telugu movie can be watched in how many ways? 2 ways. And therefore your total number of ways become 6 ways. Clear? According to me, there is not much of a difference between OR rule or AND rule, because please understand the 6 can also be determined by adding all these 6 cases. Now, where do I generally use an AND rule, especially when the numbers are large? I'll give you a very simple example, guys. Okay. How many smaller squares are there inside the larger square? Can you give me the answer? How many smaller squares are there inside the larger square? So I can say 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Now, in a way, I'm adding 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1. Now, suppose I change this to a, let's say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now tell me how many small boxes are there inside the large box. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So can I say I directly do this as 5 into 6? That means I have a total of 30 boxes. Are you able to understand this, guys? Now, why did you do 5 into 6? Can't you add them? Yes, this is 1, this is 2. Sorry, guys. This is 1, this is 2, this is 3, this is 4, this is 5, this is 6. But we know that when we write this way, it's gonna take a lot of time, right? So therefore, what do we do? Instead of adding all of them, I right away multiply and I move forward. Right? So therefore, according to me, there's not much of a difference between an OR rule or an AND rule. Right? So all that we are looking at is, if you are able to make cases like this and it's a continuous activity, you can go with a multiplication task. If it's an OR rule, it's an independent area. You have to watch only one movie. So independent area. So your task ends over here only. Clear? So let's move to the next one, please. So yeah, so I've explained this. So rule of AND is nothing but if there are n ways of doing an event, and there are n different ways of doing another event, both of them will happen. A and B will happen in m into n ways. Yeah, can we solve this, please? Yeah, let's discuss this, guys. So very simple case. In a way, in your wardrobe, you have 5 different tops or 5 different t-shirts. Right? So you have 5 different t-shirts here. So these are also tops only. So you have 3 tops of one variety and 2 tops of another variety, and you have to wear only one top. So therefore, total number of ways in which you can wear a top is 5. Let's solve this, please. So 3 pants and 2 shirts, guys. So whenever you have a doubt, just take a small bit. Let's say if I'm taking a pant 1. So he can wear a shirt 1 or a shirt 2, right? So when I'm going for a tree diagram, I use a multiplication tool. So to wear a pant, there are 3 ways. To wear a shirt, there are 2 ways, and therefore total number of ways are 6. So again, he has 3 pants. So let's take a small example here. Suppose he's taking a pant 1, and then he has 2 more options. Let's say shirt 1 and shirt 2. Further, he has a possibility of a tie 1 and a tie 2. So if you observe again, it's going with a tree diagram. So 3 ways of wearing a pant, 2 ways of wearing a shirt, and further 2 more ways of wearing a tie, and therefore total number of ways is 12. Yeah, let's solve this, please. So 3 ways to travel from A to B and 4 more ways to travel from B to C, right? So if let's say from A to B, there are 3 ways called PQR. And let's say we have from B to C, we have W, X, Y, and Z. So if I'm going with P from A to B, then I can take a W, or I can take an X, or I can take a root Y, or I can take a root Z. So the minute we are branching out, we use a multiplication tool. So 3 routes to go from A to B, 4 more routes to go from B to C. Therefore, the total number of routes are 12. Clear, guys? So moving forward. Yeah, can we solve this, please? Yeah, let's have this. So the 3 ways to travel from A to B and 4 ways to travel from B to C. Okay, so one thing I know that from A to C, let's say I have 3 into 4, that is 12 ways. To go from A to C, I have 12 ways. Okay, that is 3 into 4. Now we need to understand that suppose if I name those roots as P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, Z. How many are these? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, right? And let's say we're talking about O. Okay. Now to go, he has these many routes. So can I say to come back also we have these many routes only? So what can happen? Let's try to understand. If it's going, so let's say we are going and coming back. So while going and while coming back or returning. Okay. So if I'm going by O, can I say I can come back also by O because there's no condition that you cannot take the same route back? Can I say I'm coming, I can take the route P while coming back? I can take the route Q while coming back, R while coming back, and so on and so on and so on. So we are okay. So we are going with a tree diagram here, right, or branching out. So if you have 12 ways of going back, further for each of these, you have 12 ways, 12 more ways of coming back, which means the total number of ways become 144. Clear? Can I move forward now? I guess only one correct answer. Rest all were like 24 only. I repeat, guys, focus on whether you can have branching out options or not. For each of them, you can further take 12 routes. For this also, you can take 12 routes back. Again, 12 routes back. So for all of them, you can have 12 routes back. Yep, let's solve this. Answers. Now, please understand, you need to understand why each statement is given in the question. Okay, now this statement creates a change completely. This. Each of A to B and B to C. Now, this is something that you need to understand. Had it just told you that in how many ways can you go and come back by not taking the same path, okay, then maybe 132 would have been correct. So I'm saying each path, this is each path. So if you're going 12 ways, you come back in 11 ways, and therefore your answer becomes 132. But here, see, understand, if I'm going from A to B, so I have one route, second route, and third route, okay? So 3 routes. To go from B to C, you have 1, 2, 3, and let's say one more route, 4. Clear? Or if you want, we can name them. Let's say to go, we have PQR, PQ and R, and from B to C, let's say you have W, X, Y, and Z, right? So to go, we know there are 3 into 4, that is 12 routes. Now, what does the question say? Suppose, okay, suppose while going, you have taken P and you have taken W. Okay. So now tell me, according to the conditions given in the question, to come back, in how many ways can you come back? It says you cannot take P while coming back, you cannot take W while coming back. So to come back, you have only X, Y, and Z from here. And to come back, you have only Q and R coming up from here. So to come back, you have a total of 6 options for every one option that you choose. Are you getting it, guys? So if there are 12 options to go, for each of these options, you have 6 more options to come back, and therefore the total number of ways in which you can go and come back with the given conditions is 72. Any doubts? We have very few correct answers. So just look at the question statement very clearly, okay? Yeah, can we have this now? The 3 ways to travel from A to B, 4 ways to travel from B to C, and there are also 5 ways to travel from A to D, and 4 ways to travel from D to C. Okay. So if you understand, the pathways are, I go from A to B and then I come from B to C, one pathway, or the second pathway is I go from A to D and then I come back from B to C. Clear? So there are 3 routes. So now let's first look at it. So what will happen now? Understand it. Suppose I'm naming A, B, C. So can I say either I can go via A, B, C, or I can go via A, D, C? Is this point clear? So A, B, C I have 12 ways. A, D, C I have 20 ways. So can I say I can actually go in how many ways? 32 ways. Doubts, please? I hardly had a few correct answers. Clear? So understand, we are not taking both the path. I would rather say them to be path, okay? These are the routes. A, B, C is a path. Let me term that as a path. So either I can reach C via this path or I can reach C via this path. Now to take these paths, I have 12 different paths. To take this path, I have 20 different routes. Right? So either or. So therefore, and please understand when I say or, they are independent. I can also reach C via this. I can also reach C via this. Okay. So I can say that when they are independent activities, the word that we use is or we add them. Okay. Can I proceed, guys? Yeah, can we solve this simple question? Yeah, but it's a direct question, guys. So 12 blazers, 10 shirts, and 5 ties. So if I have a wardrobe of this kind, I can dress myself for 600 days. Right? So 600 days is your answer. Any doubts? Perfect. Let's move forward. Yeah, can we solve this, please? It's one of the most amazing questions of this topic. Yep. Right, let's see. It's a very interesting question. The only important thing about this topic is it helps us to think. Okay, so let's say if I'm going with the option called I can go via A. Let me write from here. So I have A, B, and C to reach. I also have A and C to reach. Okay. Now, so we have two independent paths. So I have an independent path called A, B, C. I also have an independent part called AC. Both of them are independent activities. Okay. Now, I can go and come via both the activity, both the paths. Right? Now, if I understand it this way, can I say, let me write it like this, going and returning. So what can be the possible cases first? Okay, let's write it down. So I can go either via ABC and return also via ABC or CBA, whatever it is. So let us write it here. So go and come back, right? So we can go via ABC and we can return via CBA. Clear? Similarly, I can go via ABC, I can return via AC, or let us CA. Third case, I can go via AC, right? And I can come back via CBA. And the fourth case is I can go via AC and come back via AC. Are you guys convinced with all the four options first? Going and coming, going and coming, going and coming, going and coming. Each of them is an independent activity. So plus, 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 and plus. Any doubts here? Quick responses. Any doubts here? Yep. Now can we quickly calculate? Now the roots have to be different. If the roots have to be different, we have done this calculation. This is 12 into 6. This is 12 into 2. This is 2 into 12. And this is 2 into 1. That's it. So 12 6 is 72. 12 2s are independent, right? So 12 2s are 24. 2 12s are 24. And 2 1s are 2. So 50 plus 72, your answer is going to be, sorry, 122. So there are 122 ways to do this activity. The best question that I can say in terms of thought process, which is involving multiple cases and rule and multiple cases or rule. So as I always tell, the best part in this topic that I find is it helps us to think more and in multiple directions. Any doubts? So not even a single correct answer. How is CBA 6? Something from the previous question now. I explained the CBA 6 in the previous question, right? Yeah, same thing, no? That's similar to the previous question, no? This one. Sorry, this one. If you're going back, if you're going from ABC and coming back CBA, so if to go you have 12 routes, to come back you have 6 routes, no? Yes, Ajit, tell me here. I can anticipate your doubt. Yeah, go ahead. Prithvi, which part? You want me to unmute you guys? I am okay in that. Okay, 1 second, Ajit. Yeah, Ajit, go ahead.
Sir. Sir, if he takes the route from going from A to C by ABC, he'll have 12 ways, and like the way when he's coming back from C to A, he'll have 13 ways, no, sir?
क्यों 13 ways क्यों होगा भाई?
Sir, 2 ways from directly from A to C and 11 more ways
Hey,
from...
that if you are combining, no? Again,
Yeah.
it's not 11. See, I've divided what you are saying into 4 different parts. What you're doing, you're trying to combine these two.
Yes, sir.
तो तेरे पास 13 भी तो नहीं होगा ना भाई. देख अभी हमने क्या देखा था?
Sir, he said same route, no, sir. So मतलब उसने A B C के लिए एक रूट लिया, तो C से B तक वो सेम रूट ले सकता है, और B से A से वो
नहीं,
डिफरेंट...
not traveling same route बोल रहा है ना?
Sir, like not the complete journey, no, sir.
Yeah, so see, while going, if you have, let's say, PQ, RST करके तेरे पास 12 routes है.
Yes,
Simple.
sir.
See, from A to B and B, C to A. This was clear, no?
Yes, sir.
ठीक है. तो अब अगर मैं इसी में ही खाली, suppose I also add A to C directly, 2 more ways. So to come back, you have how many routes here? Now that will again become a very weird activity because
I'm coming back from
multiplication भी तो आ जाएगा ना भाई.
take the same route from B, but he takes a different route from B to A. That's a like overall it's a different route, no, sir, for returning.
So you're saying that you want to club these two.
Yeah.
So you have to, again, this will be 6 ways only, no?
Okay.
And this will be 2 ways only, no?
तो मतलब
So 6 plus 2 कितना हो गया तेरे पास? 8 हो गया ना? 12 8 से कितना हुआ? 96 ना?
Same route तो मुझे लगा था कि from C to B you can take the same route again, but from B to A he
No,
has...
no. On each part, on each part.
Oh, okay.
Not traveling on the same route on the return journey.
Yeah, okay, sir. Got it.
Yeah. Or you can also mention each of...
Not take the same path again.
Each of A to B and B to C.
Yeah, sir.
This should be there. Okay. Now is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, cool. Any other doubts, Prithvi? Clear. So let's move forward. Now the easier part. I want all of you to remember these formulas, guys. So I don't see any need to explain these. So 0 factorial is 1. NPR is equal to n factorial by n minus r factorial. NP1 will always be 1. Right? So this is also really important. NCR is equal to NCn minus r. And NCR into R factorial is equal to NPR. So if you understand this part, guys, you will never ever get confused with this topic. We only get confused if we have 2 topics called arrangements or permutations and combinations. Trust me, these 2 names make our life difficult. Had there been only combinations instead of permutations and combinations? Tell me, guys, would you have found this topic difficult? I'm sure all of us got introduced to the topic, and I'm sure most of us read this topic. Just think, I mean, instead of permutations and combinations, if you had only combinations in your life, would you have still been afraid of this topic? Responses, please. So that's very simple. If you're saying that no, you would not have been confused in this topic. And the logic is quite simple. Combinations into R factorial gives me permutations. This part. So if you are agreeing that it would have been easier if the word only combinations exist in your life. So combinations into R factorial is nothing but permutations. And that is how me, a non-math student, teaches permutations and combinations. Let's quickly apply. Yeah, can we quickly start solving a small practice? 9 questions. We need to complete this in 8 or 9 minutes max. So 8P2, guys, very simple. So NPR is n factorial by, so this is 8 factorial by 6 factorial. We have already been introduced to factorial classes. So that's going to be 8 into 7 into 6 factorial by 6 factorial. Now start doing this verbally. Your answer is going to be 56. Only 3 answers. Congratulations. Quick. Yeah. Let's do it together. 10C2 is nothing but NCR, right? So that's 10 factorial by 2 factorial into 8 factorial. So the calculation is quite simple. 10 into 9 into 8 factorial by 2 factorial into 8 factorial. 8 factorial gets cancelled. 2 ones are 2 fives are, and therefore the right answer is going to be 45. Just a small practice, especially for my non-math students, to just understand how to apply the formula called permutations and combinations. So just 7 to 8 questions, guys. So I gave you the formula, but let's try to prove it. So 45C42 is 45 factorial by 42 factorial into 3 factorial. Okay. Now look at 45C3. Now 45C3 will also be 45 factorial by 3 factorial. Now 45 minus 3 will be 42 factorial. Why will I not consider this? Because denominator will have 1 factorial. I need 3 factorial minimum. So this won't come. 41 will not work because denominator does not have a 3. This also does not have a 3. So I'll try with this only. And if you observe, this is what we had seen. This is how these two are equal. So if you remember, I gave you the formula called NCR is equal to NC n minus R. Clear? So 45C2, so C42 is equal to 45C 45 minus 42, which is equal to 45C40, sorry, 45C3. Clear? So that's going to be your answer. Let's move forward. Yeah, what's the answer of this, guys? Yep, so this is 4500 factorial by 4500 minus 0 will again be 4500 factorial into 0 factorial. Your answer is going to be 1. Can we solve this, please? Yep, so NC1 is always N, guys. So you can remember these few things. So 5C1 is equal to 5, 6C1 is equal to 6 because it's 4500 factorial by 4499 factorial into 1 factorial. So this is 4500 into 4499 factorial by 4499 factorial. Clear? Into 1 factorial. So this gets cancelled and therefore your answer is going to be 4500. So always remember NC1 is always equal to 1 because this is one thing that we use very commonly in probability also. 6C1 into 7C1 into 8C1 and so on and so on and so on. If you look at the first question, you have 3 Hindi movies, you have 2 Telugu movies. So total you have 5 movies. In how many ways can you select 1? So 5C1 and the answer becomes 5. So we'll come back to when to use selection and when to use arrangement. Okay. Let's look at this, guys. NCR is equal to NCN minus R. So therefore the answer right away again becomes 4500. Clear? Perfect. So let's move to the other ones, please. Yeah, can we solve this quickly, please? Take a minute. So we have NC2 is equal to NC10. So what do we have, guys? So NC2 will be what? N factor, sorry. So NC2 would be N factorial by N minus 2 factorial into 2 factorial. Clear? And this would be how much? N factorial by N minus 10 factorial into 10 factorial. Now can you solve this and get the answer? So if you want to simplify, you can cancel these two also. Clear? And you can calculate one way, or the second way is NCR is equal to NCN minus R. Remember? So NC2 should be equal to NCN minus 2. And as per the question, if you remember, that is nothing but NC10. So you can always equate NC2 is equal to 10 because going by this equation method will definitely take a long time. Are you getting it? So if you equate these two, if NCN minus 2 is equal to NC10, I can always say that N minus 2 is equal to 10. If N minus 2 is equal to 10, the value of N is equal to 12. So do not go for a longer approach like this. Sometimes, you know, the problem with having students who are really good at maths is this only. So remember a few shortcut tools where to simplify your methods and then get your answers correct. Okay, so moving forward, guys. That's all this, please. I guess I have only 2 answers. So what do I look at it? If you want, you can just use your simple senses here. What is 8C3? I'm sure this you would have calculated. 8C3 is 8 into 7 into 6 by 3 factor, that is 8 7 the 56, right? What is 8C4? Guys, what is 8C4? So that's 8 into 7 into 6 into 5 divided by 24. So 6 1s are 6 4s are 4 1s are 4 2s are. So what do you have? 35 into 2 is 70. So this total becomes 126. Right. So if you remember 126 can be 7 into 18. Right. Okay. Now this gives me NC4. So I can write N factorial by N minus 4 factorial into 4 factorial. Okay. So if it cancel, I can write this as N into N minus 1 into N minus 2 into N minus 3 into n minus 4, and I get an n minus 4 factorial by 4 factorial into n minus 4 factorial. So this gets cancelled. Clear? Let's cross multiply. So we have 4 factorial, that is 1 into 2 into 3 into 4 into 7 into 18 is equal to n into n minus 1 into n minus 2 into n minus 3. Now logic is quite simple. If you take the value of n is equal to 8, this becomes 5. There's no 5 on the left hand side. There is 7 on the left hand side coming from factorial chapter. There is a 7 on the left hand side, but no 5 on the left hand side. So if you just start using a simple approximation tool, you can take 9 into 8 into 7 into 6 will give you a safe side. So let's see. So we have 9 here, we have 7 here, you have 2 left, right? So 2 3s are 6, and you have 4 2s are 8. So this helps you to satisfy the value, and the value of n becomes equal to 9. Clear? The thought process is really important, even if you do not know the technicalities. Okay? Can you solve this, please? So if you observe, you can start factorizing this. Okay? Look at the largest prime factor of this number. That should be your ideal logic there. Clear? So now if you look at it, I have np4 is n factorial by n minus 4 factorial. Or in a way you have n into n minus 1 into n minus 2 into n minus 3 into n minus 4 factorial divided by n minus 4 factorial. So this gets cancelled. Clear, guys? So eventually we have the product of 4 numbers is equal to 7920. Now let's try to see what is happening here. So 7920 can be written as, if I go roughly, this is 11 into 7's 77, 22, 720. Okay, now let's break 720. 720 can be written as 10 into 72. I repeat, I want consecutive numbers. The minute I get 11, I'm trying to see whether I'm going below or whether I'm going forward. Right? So if I can see 10 directly here, so I can directly see a 11 into 10. I do not know, I can also have a 12. But if I have a 12, I get 12 into 6, which is not acceptable. I want 4 consecutive natural numbers, guys. If you look at 72, 72 can also be written as 9 into 8. Clear? So therefore the answer becomes the value of n is equal to 11. Yep, Chanmukh, there are 4 numbers, kada? Can I proceed, guys? Everybody? Yeah, so we're done with the basics of permutations and the counting rules. Let's now move down to arrangement of digits. Okay, arrangement of digits means how many numbers can be formed. Or we have the first question, by using the digits 1, 2, 3, how many 3-digit numbers can be formed? I repeat, I have not taught you where to apply permutations, where to apply combinations. I've just given you formulas. Okay, so I do not want you to think whether it's permutation or combination. Use basic concepts to identify how can this be solved. Guys, I repeat, this chapter helps us to think in multiple ways here. So first things first, you need to also understand that the digits can also repeat and the digits might not as well repeat. So let's try to understand with a simple rule. So if I go by assuming that the digits are repeating, the first place can have 1, the second place can have 1 or 2 or 3. Clear? And the third place can also have either 1 or 2 or 3. So if you understand this, this much is enough for us to go with the counting rules. So the first place can have any of the 3 digits. Having filled the first place, the second place can further have any of the 3 digits. Having filled the second place, the third place can further have 3 digits. So 3 into 3 into 3. If repetition is allowed, then the answer becomes 27. Clear? Now, what if repetition is not allowed? If repetition is not allowed, if my first place has a 1, then the second place can have either a 2 or a 3. Clear? If I am already blocking 1 and I'm blocking 2, my third place can only have a 3. If I'm blocking 3 and I'm blocking 1, my third place can only have a 2. So please understand, for each of the second place, I have only 1 in the third place. Right? So first place can take either 1, 2 or 3. So first place can be filled by all the 3 of them. Okay. See, if I keep 2 here, for 2 I can either have 1 or 3. Right? So for each of these, I have further 2 more digits in the second place. So 3 into 2. Having filled each of them, then I have only 1 more for the third place. So therefore the answer becomes 3 into 2 into 1, that is 6. So remember, if repetition is not allowed, all you can do is, I have only 3 digits, right? So first place can have 3. Repetition not allowed, reduced by 1, this becomes 2. Again, repetition not allowed, reduced by 1, this becomes 1, and therefore the answer becomes 3 factorial. And this is what we are learning in arrangements, the number of ways of arranging our things in our places will always be determined by the formula called R factorial. Arranging is because I can write 1, 2, 3, or I can write 1, 3, 2. So this is called arrangement because the place value also plays a really important role. Is this point clear? Yeah, now can you quickly solve this? Both the ways? Take 30 seconds. Guys, 2 cases by default. If repetition is allowed, go with the counting rule method. The first place can have 4, the second place can have 4, the third place can have 4, and the fourth place can have 4. So this is 16 into 16, which is going to be 256. If repetition is not allowed, I just discussed with you. So 4 into 3 into 2 into 1, which is nothing but 4 factorial, which is nothing but 24. Clear? Let's move forward. Let's go both the cases with repetition and without repetition. So if 2 places are there, again repeat, do not try to use permutations and combinations. These are some questions which can easily, you can crack some easy questions in exams like SNAP and NMAT where score becomes really important. Right? Only for CAT, sometimes you need a very in-depth knowledge of PNC, that too for one question. But my major job is to see that we are not missing out on easy and commonly seen models. Okay, so I want everybody of you to start giving me the answers. I have 21 students in the class, but I'm getting only 3 to 4 answers. Right? So now if I have 4 digits, the first place can be taken by any of the 4 ones, right? Either I can have 1, or I can have 2, or I can have 3, or I can have 4. Now understand, having placed 1, the second place can also have 1, or it can have 2, or it can have 3, or it can have 4. So if repetition is allowed, my answer becomes 4 into 4, that is 16. If repetition is not allowed, then how many for the second place, guys? 3 for the second place. So if repetition is not allowed, my answer becomes 4C3, that is equal to 12. 4 into 3, okay? Now, in case if you want to understand, this is coming under arrangements. What does arrangement mean? If I write 1, 2, it is one number. If I write 2, 1, it's another number. Clear? So when the reverse positions also give us a different number, right? It is called arrangement or ordered pair. Since we all have done numbers, if you remember, we discussed this term called ordered pairs and unordered pairs, right? So ordered pairs is nothing but arrangements, and arrangements is nothing but permutations. If you want to directly use formula, only formula based, okay? I'm not giving you too much theory of this, right? Similarly, unordered pairs is called selection. Now, what is the difference? Let's try to understand this also once again. If I give you, in how many ways can you write sum of two numbers is equal to 4? Sorry. In how many ways can you write a plus b is equal to 4? Where a and b are natural numbers, okay? So we write 1 plus 3 is equal to 4, 2 plus 2 is equal to 4, and 3 plus 1 is equal to 4. Now why? Because a is taking 1 here and a is taking 3 here. So if you observe, 1 plus 3 and 3 plus 1 are considered as two cases, right? So this question comes under the concept called ordered pairs. So whenever you have 1, 3 and 3, 1 as two different numbers, we consider them to be arrangements. So out of 4 things, I have to arrange 2 of them, right? Without repetition. So therefore, your answer becomes 4B2. But this is only applicable without repetition. Clear? Similarly, on unordered pairs, the example is in how many ways can you write sum of two natural numbers is equal to 4? Okay. So in how many ways can I write sum of two natural numbers is equal to 4? So that will be nothing but 1, 3 is one pair and 2, 2 is the other pair. Now this kind of concept comes under unordered arrangements. Any doubts, guys, with a small recap of numbers also? So if you are sure, so when you make numbers, no, you can remember this, that numbers is nothing but arranging the digits. Arrangement words comes there. So if you want, you can also directly use out of 4 things, I am arranging 2 things. Clear? One second, guys. Now, the way I told you, if you also want to understand, we can also use a simplified concept called combinations into arrangement. Okay. Now, out of 4, if I have to just choose 2 digits, which can be done in how many ways, guys? 4C2. This is I'm selecting 2 digits, something like this, 1, 3. After selecting 1, 3, and how many ways can I arrange them? 2 things in 2 places. Okay, just one second. Yeah. So 2 things in 2 places can be arranged in 2 factorial ways, and this is the formula that we had seen. NCR into R factorial is equal to NPR. Am I clear, guys? So I've given you 3 different ways of remembering this. Whichever you find easy, please go ahead with that. Moving forward. Yeah, can we solve this, please? Quick. Now let's go without repetition here directly from now on. So 4 out of 4 digits, I need to make 3 digit numbers. So first way, I'm going only without repetition, okay? So 4 into 3 into 2 is the first way, guys. Without repetition, the digits will reduce. 24. Second method, you can directly do 4p3. Clear? Third method, out of 4, you are selecting 3 digits. Now 3 digits, you have to arrange them in 3 places, which will be into 3 factorial. All of them will give you the same answer. Depending on whichever a student is comfortable with, please follow that. Can you solve this, please? Quick, now I want to answer in fraction of seconds. 5 digits are there and 5-digit numbers are there, I repeat, from now will only follow without repetition. So 5 things in 5 places, by default I want you to write only one answer. That is 5 factorial. This is without repetition. If repetition is allowed, it's simple. That's 5 to the power 5. Guys, any doubts? Is the pace of the class fine? I majorly want my non-math students to revert. Neha? All are my non-maths. Surekha, Neha, Prachi, Navneet, Jatin, Anurag. If in case you're finding me going fast, let me know, okay? Yeah, perfect, guys. So the questions are very in a very graded manner. So you should not have too much of difficulty. I repeat, we are going without repetition. We use permutations or combinations without repetition only. Go by 2 methods, guys. So I repeat, we are going without repetition. 2 methods. You want 3-digit numbers. You have 3 places. 5 into 4 into 3. Clear? Second method, 5p3. Third method, out of 5, I am first selecting 3 digits. Now I have 3 digits, I am arranging them in 3 places. That is 3 factorial base. Pick up any one of them and become comfortable. Your MAT, CMAT, NMAT, SNAP. These 4 exams, you can crack any question on PNC after these classes. You need not even practice anything more. But for CAT and other exams, you need to practice more. Right? So with repetition, only one will be applicable. This is 5 into 5 into 5. This is with repetition. Yeah, let's solve this. Now comes the condition questions. Can we solve this, please? Take 1 minute. Now, whenever the question has conditions, now this question says how many 5-digit numbers such that the numbers are even that can be formed. I repeat, we are going without repetition first, okay? Now, if I'm going without repetition, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, okay? So we know for the number to be even, the last digit should be even. So either the last digit can have a 2, okay? Or the last digit can have a 4 from the given digits here, right? Now, please understand, if 2 is being blocked, so 2 cannot repeat. So that means the first place can have any of the remaining 4 into 3 into 2 into 1. Is this point clear? Quick responses, please. Because 2 cannot be repeated. So out of 5, now I have only 4 digits available to fill in these 4 places. Right? So 4 digits in 4 places, you will have 4 factorial. Plus you will again have another 4 factorial from here. Because here the sample space will be 1, 3, 4 and 5. Okay. Now here the sample space will be 1, 2, 3 and 5. So again 4 factorial plus 4 factorial in a way is nothing but 4 factorial into 2, which is equal to nothing but 48 numbers. Okay. Now remember one thing, in what other way can I do this? The best way in which you can do this is, since this place can be either filled by 2 or by 4, you can assume that this place can be filled in 2 ways. Okay, multiplied with. No matter 2 ways, but focus on this. Okay, you're only taking 1 digit at any time. That means if 1 digit is gone, then you can have 4 into 3 into 2 into 1. Right? This separately and this separately, your answer becomes 48. Any doubts here? right? And if repetition is allowed, then what happens? No matter the last place can have two numbers, but remaining of the four places will have 5 into 5 into 5 into 5 into 2. So that's going to be 625 into 2 will be the total number of cases in case you are going with the repetition. Right, moving forward, guys. Yeah, can we solve this, please? Yep, let's solve this, guys. Now, which are the numbers which are divisible by 4? Now, with the combination of these 5 digits, I need to see what can be the last 2 digits. That's what the divisibility of 4 says. The last 2 digits must be divisible by 4. Now, go in a standard way, okay? So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let us see what can come in the last 2 places. I repeat, go in this order. With 1, which are the 2-digit numbers with 1 which are divisible by 4? So we have 12 and 16. 16 is not possible from here, so I can have 12 as a combination. Clear? Done with 1. Now go with 2. With 2, what are my numbers? We have 20 or 24 or 28. So with the given numbers, I can have 24. So 1 done, 2 also done. Let's go with 3. With 3, the 2-digit numbers divisible by 4 are 32 and 36. We can have a 32 available, but we can't have a 36 available. So 3 is also done. With 4, I can have either a 40 or a 44. Clear? Or a 48, which is again not possible because we are going without repetition. And with 5, I can have a 52. So these two places can be filled in how many ways, guys? 4 ways. Remember this. You're writing 4 ways, but you're considering one of the cases only. If you're taking only one case, 2 digits are blocked. For each of these cases, can I say these 3 places can be filled in 3 factorial ways? So therefore, your answer becomes 3 factorial into 4. That's 6 fours are 24 numbers are the numbers which can be formed, which are exactly divisible by 4. Am I clear now? I have no clue why have we been getting different answers. Ajit, you're not getting the answers in the one shot. A lot of you are giving me answers in 2 shots. So please be careful. We need to get one shot right answer in the exam, okay? So see, one more reason might be you might have missed one of the cases. That is why you got 18 in the first case and the answer is 24. So if you follow the structure, this is what PLC brings in your preparation. It gives a structure to your number of cases, which further helps you in logical reasoning also. Right, moving forward, guys. Yeah, can we solve this? Take a minute. Let's solve this, please. So the most important catch in this question is reading abilities. How many 5-digit even numbers that can be formed which are not divisible by 4? Which means the answer says all the even numbers minus the minus any number divisible by 4 is an even number only. So minus the numbers which are divisible by 4 is your answer. So total even numbers we got is 48. Even numbers divisible by 4 are 24, and therefore your answer becomes 24. Right? So he did not tell you how many 5-digit numbers are not divisible by 4. If the question says how many 5-digit numbers are not divisible by 4, you can say all numbers minus the numbers which are divisible by 4. Right? But this would be wrong because he's asking you how many 5-digit even numbers are not divisible by 4. So this 120 minus 24, that is 96, will also have odd numbers. That's the most important catch there. Okay. So therefore your answer becomes 24 is the right answer instead of 96 or whatever it is. Yeah, can we solve this, please? Yeah, let's solve this, guys. Now, in how many 5-digit numbers 2 and 5 can always come together now? So if I have a basic way of solving this, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I can have 2 and 5 coming up here together. They have to be together, no? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I can have 2 and 5 coming up together. Clear? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I can have 2 and 5 coming up together. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then again I can have 2 and 5 coming up together. Clear? Now when I have these things coming up together, now first things first, you need to also understand that these are not my only cases, because if 2 and 5 can come together, even this case tells me that 2 and 5 are together. Clear? So for each of them, you will have two cases, because 5 and 2 can be one arrangement. Similarly, 2 and 5 can be the other arrangement. Is this first point clear? Right. Now, having blocked 2 places, I have 3 more places. So can I say in each of them, I will have 3 factorial ways? So if you observe, this will give you 3 factorial numbers. This is giving you 3 factorial numbers. This is giving you 3 factorial numbers. And this is giving you 3 factorial numbers, which in a way is nothing but 3 factorial into 4, which will give you how much, guys? 4 factorial. Now, if this is giving you 4 factorial, this will also give you 4 factorial. 4 factorial plus 4 factorial, your answer is going to be 4 factorial into 2. Is this point clear? Clear, guys? Now, how can I solve this in a different way? I don't need to do this every time, okay? Right, so I need not do this every time. So now if whenever we are told that, certain digits are together, so what you can do is, you can just observe that if 2 and 5 are to be together, I consider them to be one unit only, because they will go together, no? So let's say I tie a rope to them. And then what do I have? I have 1, 3, and 4. So let's count how many terms do I have now. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4. So I have 4 different things now. I repeat, 1, 2, 3, and 4. So 4 things in 4 places can arrange themselves in 4 factorial. Okay? Multiplied with, inside this row, you have 2 things in 2 places, which will be further 2 factorial ways. So therefore your answer becomes 48. This can also be replicated when I say that, all the boys are together. Let's say there are 4 boys and let's say there are 5 girls. And I want all the boys to be together. So I'm tying a rope, B1, B2, B3 and B4, okay? And then I'm writing girl 2, girl 3, girl 4 and girl 5. So now let's count. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this will be how much? 6 factorial is external arrangement. You get inside the rope, 4 things in 4 places will be 4 factorial. So this becomes your answer whenever the question says they are together. Is this point clear? Everyone, quick responses, please. One last question of the day after this. Yeah, let's solve this, please. Last question of the day, guys. So 24 won't be the right answer, guys. Let's see this. Now, 2 should come before 5, okay? Now, if you start making cases, let's try to see. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, let's say if 2 is coming up here, then can I say 5 can come here? Similarly, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If 2 is coming up here, 5 can come here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If 2 is coming up here, 5 can come here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If 2 is coming up here and 5 can also come here. So these are my all the cases where 2 is definitely coming before 5, especially if 2 is in the first place. Right? So if you observe, the shortest possible way to do this will be, if I'm blocking 2 in the first place, 5 can come here, that is one case. 5 can come here, second case. 5 can come here, third case. 5 can come here, fourth case. That means there are 4 ways of doing this. Now in each of them, if 2 digits are blocked, can I say the remaining 3 digits can be filled in 3 factorial ways? So 4 into 3 factorial becomes your final answer. For the first part, okay? We are not done with this yet. Now, similarly, 2 can go to this place also, okay? Now, if 2 is coming here, 5 cannot come here because 2 has to come before 5. So 5 can come here, 5 can come here, and 5 can come here, which means now this has 3 cases. Now again understand, if you're blocking one more place, so 3 more digits in 3 more places will give you 3 factorial ways. Keep on moving forward now. If I block 2 here, either 5 can come here or 5 can come here. That means I will have 2 cases. Each of them will have 3 factorial more ways. So only 2 being blocked here, I will have only one way into 3 factorial. So if you add all of them, you get 10 into 3 factorial, which means your total number of ways is going to be 60 ways in which you can do this. Is this point clear? And always remember, when these kind of questions are being asked, the total number of numbers are 120. Half of them will have the number of cases where 2 comes before 5, and half of them will have number of cases where 2 will come after 5, and therefore the answer becomes 60. Clear, guys? Any doubts further? Let's stop here because the next model will need a lot more concentration. So I'll see you guys tomorrow, continuing from here. Right? So tomorrow, I guess it's gonna be my class only. So let's take today's mock exam. No, today you don't have any mock exam. Prithvi, if you want, you can take any mock exam from 25 to 24. Shanmukh, no, Nana. Adjacent case, the question will not ask you adjacent case, Nana. You're just trying to prove your answer to be correct. Yeah, you can write previous ones. Any mock from 25 to 21, you can take it. Okay, Shanmukh, I hope I'm getting the right point there. I've never seen a question called adjacent case ever. Right? Yeah, 2 and 5 come together in that order, then your question might be correct. Okay. So thank you guys. Have a great day and see you tomorrow. All the best, guys.